You deserve honest and open and transparent relationships with everyone, especially your most intimate relationships. And I stand here today in the place of where I finally fully accept where I believed that I didn't deserve an honest and transparent relationship for 26 years. And today in this masterclass, we're going to show the space of real transparency, because that is what helps to support you. And my ultimate place of openness and sharing and vulnerability will be seen and felt here today, because I feel and know and trust that we are in this together. And there is absolutely no reason, no mistake why you are here watching this masterclass today. And the things that we're going to be sharing are really powerful. So I am your host, Katrina Elkins. I am a life purpose alignment and intimacy coach. And I empower you to be radically honest about your desires of intimacy so you can live unapologetically in all areas of your life. You see, 4 years ago, I got a really strong message from my husband at the time, and it's been 26 years where I've known him. He has been part of my life. I've known him just as long as my grandfather, who I trusted and loved, and he's passed on now, but it's that place of a real long-term relationship. And I was shown where I was not in a transparent and open and honest relationship. And it has taken me to all places within my life. And it has been a catalyst for me to understand what it is that I was attached to, why betrayal hurt so much, why these places of my being alone with my children scared me the most. So today I invite you to open up to what it is that you're attached to. And trust me, it boils down to ourselves. And for me, I know where I betrayed myself continually over and over and over again. And ultimately, I am standing here today because it took traveling the world, selling our home, going and being in these places of real open and honest relating with others, that it blew open how it was that our relationship wasn't working and why the betrayal kept on happening. So I'm going to be sharing the big betrayal, the little betrayal, and also the places of where I was the betrayer. You are going to be shown very transparently what it means to move through and to go beyond betrayal. And we're going to be offering the 3 keys here to love and vitality. Because I will repeat this, you deserve an honest and open relationship that is transparent. I didn't believe that I did for a lot of years. And it is my commitment to you to hold the space in the container so that you can allow yourself and you to know that you really deserve the love and the connection and the intimacy that you want in your life. And I will share this place of sovereignty with you. Yes, addressing betrayal is absolutely painful, and it can make you question everything. But if you continue to hide and bury it, it will show up in medical issues, in your career. It's going to destroy the places of the relationships that you crave and you long for. Unaddressed betrayal is real, and I welcome you to address the betrayal that has happened for you in your life. So welcome to this masterclass. And with all that I am, I invite you to explore and get curious about what it is to really state, I deserve an open and honest, transparent relationship. No one else can make you happy. And you do deserve love. And you are worthy of love. And you also don't have to be scared to be alone, because ultimately you are never alone. So I'm going to share and start with this place. As we move forward into the 3 points and the 3 keys, I want to share this place of real honesty and transparency. So I myself was scared to surrender to myself. I was scared to surrender to the truth and to break the illusions that were in my relationship. And ultimately, I was scared. I've seen my life partner of 26 years, husband, and now we're working through the places of unraveling, uncoupling, and really being honest with ourselves and our true desires and how we want to live. We have 2 beautiful children from our relationship. And as we move forward, it is a place of deep uncertainty. But I can tell you, as I'm standing here, the surrender was worth it. And that surrender can be the sweetest place of love and medicine. And it can be the elixir that we are aching for in this world. Because I deserve the love that I know is real. And you deserve it too. And that is why we need community. So over the last 4 years, I've been holding the space of inviting in community that is open source, that is absolutely willing to hold this deepest ache within us. It's the messy. And that is what we want to see from you, the messy. We want to be able to hold and honor that place where you're scared to voice what it is that happened for you in betrayal. Whether it was a violent action towards you in a sexual way, whether it was physical abuse, whether the betrayal was actual infidelity. And that is where my biggest betrayal happened, was within infidelity of many, many years. And we're going to be addressing the places of the little betrayals. Maybe it's the places of you've been asking for something for so long in your relationship and that other person has not been able to provide that. But it feels so huge to you that you can't understand why. So we're going to be talking and addressing about that place of the incongruity of the big betrayals and the little betrayals. The big betrayal for me in my relationship hurt. It was an awareness of where there was not the transparency that I wanted and desired. And that it made me, I felt, but this wasn't, see, this is where it's really tricky, is it really wasn't about me. His betrayal of infidelity wasn't about me. And that is the biggest, probably one of the bigger takeaways that I really want you to be able to understand, is that when someone betrays you in the biggest way, it's actually not about you. It's about them not being able to stand in their power and to communicate and to be open and honest about their pain and what it is that they have not been able to accept within themselves where they have not loved themselves, or believe that they deserve love, or actually fully believe that place that they are not alone. And let me tell you, infidelity with prostitutes, with others, like a romantic love, infidelity with online dating. Oh, there is so many places of infidelity that need to be addressed. And when those lines are broken, the trust is broken, when we know that the other one has taken action and they betrayed themselves, it is not about you. And that's what hurts. Because it's not their action. And that's where we need to talk and address in this place.
Before we continue in our class on Beyond Betrayal, it'd be helpful to take some time to define and understand a little bit more of the terminology we use in the elemental lifestyle, specifically around understanding the circuitry of relationships. We'll be covering how our relationships are governed by exchanges of energy, and that this really has to do with what we call giving and receiving. And how this giving and receiving forms a circuit with ourselves and with others, and how, when we're in misalignment, this circuit can become broken. So, all of our interactions consist of exchanges of energy, and these energies take what the form of the masculine and the feminine. We use these terms. There are other terms that are utilized, like yin and yang, that you may be familiar with. It doesn't necessarily have to refer to the gender of these energies, but they are the two sides of the same coin. Strong circuits that form from the exchange of these energies have honesty, transparency, and an openness to them. Now, each of these exchanges takes two forms. It's giving and receiving. The masculine energy is what we use in giving, and we call this standing in our power. It's what we utilize to express boundaries, express desires, our wants. When we step forward to make a strong statement or question, that is coming from the masculine energy of giving. The feminine energy of receiving is how we take in and allow that energy of the giving to come to us, whether it's from another person, ourselves, or even just from everyday experience. And it is really grounded in the concept of surrender, of opening up to what wants to come in and allowing it to fully manifest within ourselves and to be received. Creativity, our nurturing natures, and flow all come from this act of receiving. And each of us has these giving and receiving masculine and feminine energies within us, and we're working with them in our relations with ourselves, our relations with others, whether it's a friend, a lover, a spouse, or even an acquaintance. And the important thing here is, when we're born, we come into this world with our natural circuit in a healthy state. We naturally know as a child how we want to give, how we want to receive, what works best for us. However, over time, we start to become conditioned. This conditioning starts at a very young age. We start to receive messages that the way we want to give, the way we want to receive is not right, is not natural. And that we internalize that conditioning, and that's what ultimately leads us to really believe that there's something inherently wrong with our natural giving and receiving. And this drags us over time out of alignment with ourselves. And then once we're out of alignment with ourselves, then our giving and receiving with others is not in alignment. And this is what we refer to as the broken circuit. And the broken circuit can manifest in many different ways. In this course, we're focusing on the way that betrayal can manifest in the broken circuit, but it can manifest in so many different ways in our lives. When we can feel the broken circuit, we will begin to feel We will begin to feel unsafe in our own sexuality. And this can lead to all kinds of negative behaviors. It feeds our feelings of low self worth. It can lead us to addictive behaviors. It can lead us to desperate behaviors. The addictive behaviors come when we're in a space of feeling like we're going to lose something, right? So we're chasing something to hang on to it. The desperate behaviors can also come in those places where we're so desperate to avoid these places of pain that it takes to feel to these places of pain where we need to deal with the conditioning we received. We can get this desperate energy to chase distractions from dealing with our own inherently broken circuit. So those are some of the loose terms that we utilize to talk about the circuitry of the relationships. We'll be covering all of these topics as they relate to betrayal here.
So let's talk about the first key. The first key to really moving beyond betrayal and opening up to love and vitality is to know that the actual action of betrayal is not what hurts. The action of betrayal is, and I know this is so confusing because you're like, God, Katrina, somebody just went and slept with my best friend, or my husband is now being like fully open about where he was online dating, or my wife has now been in a long-term intimate relationship with another person and I had no idea. Betrayal is showing you where your relationship is not working. It's showing you the fibers, the places of those connections that are not working anymore. And the betrayal itself is not what really hurts. It is the actual knowing that the broken circuit is broken. Your circuit of giving and receiving in your relationship is broken. That is why you're crying in the middle of the night. That is why you're depressed. That is why you cannot get out of bed in the morning. That is why you have stopped sharing your creativity. One of the most places and pronounced places is if we don't do our work that we know ignites us, then we are stuck in betrayal and we are stuck in that broken circuit and we are attached to that place of what we thought was our relationship. And ultimately, the action of betrayal is showing us that our relationship is an illusion. You are not a victim here. We are showing you the places that many do not know how to navigate. And I desire for you to understand this first key, to know it in your heart. Yes, betrayal sucks. Yes, when someone absolutely breaks a commitment from the heart, especially when it involves your sexuality, it can destroy any place of trust that you have. When we feel that place of the broken trust and we know it and we realize that it's actually not the action, but it's showing us where our circuit is broken with another, then that is the first step to really healing and opening up to what's possible in your relationships. In order to understand the pain of betrayal, we have to really understand this place, and I want this to land for you. So, betrayal is showing us the broken circuit. And the pain of betrayal can have different incongruities of the little betrayal and the big betrayals. And it's because it's showing you the broken circuit. So whether or not it was something very small, like a missed date or a text that you found that seemed a little suspicious, or a late arrival, some of the betrayals of saying, yes, I'm going to be here for you, and then that person is not there for you. The little betrayals could even be about someone being very sneaky about food or alcohol or drugs or things like that. That is sometimes can be the little betrayals. So the big betrayals obviously are really loud, and they can overwhelm your nervous system, your central nervous system. They can be a place where you don't want to take action. And we're going to address this little betrayal later, because this is your place of action. And when you feel and have this place and this awareness of understanding that the little betrayal is showing you where you don't trust in receiving, or where you are not willing to stand in your power because you're afraid of the shaming and the blaming that it's going to happen. So it's really important. This is the broken circuit. The broken circuit is where we are not trusting to receive. And I received really powerfully this message of the small betrayal. Brian was texting a woman. He was texting a woman without my knowledge. We had signed up for strong support, and I realized that he was not going to be transparent with me. I felt it in my gut. My intuition knew it. But I didn't want to believe it. And so we made strong commitments for him in our open relationship. It's about honoring this place of transparency. And he wasn't able to hold that. And I found him texting a woman. And it hurt me. It hurt so deeply. It brought out so much anger. More so than the big betrayal of infidelity of many, many years that he shared with me. That put me in a different response, where I had to really work hard to access my anger. Whereas this little betrayal, it showed me so clear, because 4 days before that, my coach asked me if I trust Brian. And I said yes. I hesitated. My intuition said no. My sacral, every part of my liver, everything said no, but I said yes. And then 4 days later, it was validated that I cannot trust him. The little betrayal showed me my broken circuit with myself, where I was unwilling to receive the information from my tuition. It showed me the broken circuit with Brian, where I was unwilling to receive the information that our relationship is working on a broken circuit. And it was so loud for me. My liver hurt so loud. And this is the places of where I really want you to understand that your body is powerful. You have the intuition and the resources and the tools all within you to navigate these areas of betrayal in your life. And when you're not listening to your intuition, it's going to show you. Your body is going to show you. And this is why it is so important to understand this next place. The only real betrayal is the betrayal of self. And this is the second point. This is the point of where the actual only betrayal that happens is when we betray ourselves. And I betrayed myself in a very big way. And when we're moving through and understanding where our relationships are very weak, where we have not been able to stand in our power, then this comes really loud and clear, where we were the betrayer. So I betrayed myself. I became pregnant when I was traveling abroad. And ultimately, there was 2 fathers, Brian and another man. I betrayed myself because I did not hold the container of respect and love for my fuck yes, because my fuck yes was not to bring another child into this earthly plane. My fuck yes is to open up to the bigness and the beauty of who I am, and to share that with the world through my writing, through my creativity. These are all parts of my sexuality. Through the time that I have alone in the woods, through the places of travel and the deepest connections with people when I'm speaking and sharing in these masterclasses, when I am opening up to the deepest places of the somatic healing that transform people's lives, because it upgrades how they move through the rest of their life. That's my fuck yes. My fuck yes was not to become pregnant. And I actually betrayed Brian. I betrayed the other man. I betrayed the place within my sovereignty. And that's what hurts. But it wasn't the action here. It was the place of where my circuit was broken within myself, where I didn't feel like I deserved my fuck yes, where I felt like I wasn't deserving of real love that was open and honest and transparent. And yes, when this news came out, both of these incredible men were upset, angry, and ultimately it was a space of real confrontation and frustration, and we ultimately all got to address some of our deeper wounds. And right here, right now, I want to say, whatever is the weak link in your relationship with your spouse, with your partner, when you have a third person coming in to that relationship, either unknown or known, they are going to highlight and to shine a light where your broken circuit is broken. And when I said yes to this transformation 2.5 years ago, I knew that. I knew that opening up would bring up lots of different jealousy. It would bring up anger. It would bring up these places of frustration. But I knew I wanted that. I wanted the medicine and the healing. I didn't realize that I would betray myself, though. And the reason I didn't know that I was already betraying myself for 26 years. I mean, I knew, but I was not willing to accept where I was not taking personal responsibility for fully, absolutely betraying myself in my marriage, in my commitment to myself, and my commitment to my health and my children, because ultimately betrayal will zap you of your health, your career, your relationships. If unaddressed betrayal shows up like it did for me, oh my goodness, I betrayed myself even more. And that is why we're inviting you here to this place where you can be in community and to understand that you can be held and supported, so that the betrayals don't have to balloon and get really loud, where you are now able to stand in your power and to uncouple or to walk away from a relationship that's toxic, or to be able to say, I healed that wound from 20 years ago in my first love, because it has impacted me in many different ways. This is what we desire for you. So I had the opportunity of one of the deepest places of betrayal of myself by becoming pregnant. And ultimately, it was showing me where I didn't feel safe in my sexuality. It was showing me where I didn't have the platform and the community to support me in my truth of what it means to share and to shine a light on what sexuality really is. Me becoming pregnant showed me that I didn't trust myself and I didn't trust others. And I was looking for others to solve my problems. I was looking for others to do the work for me. When in reality, I am the only one that can show up in my light and to share my truth. And that is why you're here today. Let's talk about standing in our power. So we are truly not standing in our power when we are like, oh, let's give this other person a lot of space and time, or we are just allowing that like feeling of, oh, I just wish things could return to the way they used to be. This is not standing in your power. And this is why the broken circuit hurts, is because we are staying in the broken circuit. When you allow that place of this holding on to this belief that things are going to return to the way they used to be, or if I just give them more time, they're going to be able to like commit to me in the way that they did previously, it's bullshit. And that is you being attached to the broken circuit. And when we are holding on to that place of wishing things were different, or like accepting only parts of the relationship and then not able to accept other parts. Let's say that we know there's cheating. We know that someone is being sneaky. We know that our most cherished, intimate person is not voicing what it is that they are struggling with. Then we are not standing in our power and we are attached to the broken circuit. The attachment to the broken circuit is real. We see validation every day in our relationship. That makes us feel, okay, it's worth it. I can continue to do this. He loves me, she loves me. It's okay. Even though you absolutely know the betrayals, and you can't seem to break through. So this personally has happened just recently for me. It's happened for my clients. It's happened for the people who have said yes to themselves in the elemental lifestyle, where it comes to a breaking point. And that breaking point is when you burst open and any of that softness of like, okay, I'll just forgive them, it's okay, is no longer present. And this is not about not forgiving them. This is about you standing in your power and saying, no, I cannot accept that behavior anymore. And I accept the person for who they are and how they're showing up in my life. And our attachment to the broken circuit in the relationship with them is ultimately leading to our suffering and that place of deep pain. In order to move beyond betrayal, we have to release our attachment to the broken circuit. This is key number 3. I have been able to understand this awareness of betrayal, of where I betrayed myself, of where these places of my broken circuit of giving and receiving is so loud. And it's here for me to be able to understand and share this with you. So earlier in the masterclass, I shared that there was this thing that happened for me 4 years ago. And it was a huge universal awakening, a call. And ultimately it showed me the broken circuit in my relationship with Brian. And I was not ready to release that in any way, shape, or form, because releasing it means that I was going to go into the deepest places of my wounds as a child, the deepest places of my subconscious. And in order for us to release this attachment, we have to have and be willing to be emotionally ready, physically ready. When we're in so much pain, we're like, yes, I need relief. Or when we're spiritually so stifled and suffocated that we're just like, I can't take it anymore. And when we are aligned in those places, that is when this can release this way of this broken circuit that we have been taught. So 4 years ago, I was on a vacation work with my husband, Brian, at the time. And there was a gap of about 5 hours where in the middle of the night, he was not available. And it cut me to my core. Later he shared that he came home absolutely drunk, and I was shocked. It was the first time that there had never been communication in our relationship at that point. That was so loud. And I was alone with my 2 kids. I felt like the police might come and say, he's not alive. It was all these things, and it was such a loud place for me. It was so loud that by the time he showed up, I was just so grateful that he was alive. He showed up drunk, and I just accepted that. I forgave it. But then later on that day, there was a woman's pair of nylons. And I asked him, I found this, and it brought up so much anger within me. And he's like, no, I have no idea how that got here, this whole thing. And it was a mirror. It was showing me a little glimpse of the bigger infidelities that were already happening. And I wasn't fully able to receive this place of all of those infidelities at that time. And it showed me I wasn't willing to receive and acknowledge and to accept this. The woman's nylons showed me a very powerful place of me not willing to really own the place of where I had betrayed myself in the past by even going into a committed relationship with Brian. It showed me, and I wasn't willing to accept it. I wasn't willing to accept that. And that is why I realized that I was so scared. It shook me. I was so scared of being alone without being able to financially support my children or emotionally support them. I had a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. I was not in a space where I felt that I wanted to even address being alone, raising my children, and understanding how to move forward. So I didn't address the betrayal, and I just shoved it under the rug. And that is why this place here today, what I'm sharing, this happens all the time in our relationships. And it wouldn't have mattered if I stayed with Brian or I didn't. Because in that moment, if I would have ended things, there was a chance that I would have not gone into releasing my attachment to the broken circuit. I could have sought help from someone else or fallen in love and then been in the same situation. This happens over and over again with the clients that I support in Elemental. And this place of betrayal where we betray ourselves by being in abusive relationships where we're hit, where sexual boundaries are crossed, these things are real. And you deserve a relationship where you are loved, held in compassion, where there is no violence, and where everything is fully transparent. You deserve that. I didn't believe that I deserved that. So I had to go into this place and be willing to go into the place where I didn't fully love myself or feel like I was worthy. And when we are willing to surrender to releasing this attachment to the broken circuit, that is when we get to address our deepest aches. And a lot of these are the feelings of not being enough, not being worthy. I support women who are financially abundant and they don't feel worthy or feel like they are enough. Same with men who are standing in their power, but they still do not feel like they're worthy, because they need to allow that place of receiving and being in their feminine, where the women who don't feel worthy and are not fully able to address and own their masculine, that's standing in power. And that is why we're here today, because I want to share why the little betrayal is so important. I finally was able to address this place 4 years ago. I was finally able to do that by addressing and really being honest with the little betrayal when I found Brian texting on a phone. I finally was able to access my anger and to move into that place of releasing my attachment to my broken circuit, because then it took me into a place where I addressed my wounds of not being worthy of an open and honest relationship. And that is the medicine here today for you, to understand that essence. We have such a strong reflex of avoiding the pain. The depth of where betrayal can show us where we are betraying ourselves, where we are attached to the broken circuit, is real. And I've seen this fight, this like, no, I'm not going there. There's no way. And it's real, because our attachment to that broken circuit it's addicting. We have a new romance and everything's beautiful, and then all of a sudden things blow up. But it validates. It's like, oh yes, you're worthy. You can have this little piece. You can do this. You can have this excitement. But as far as really allowing that place of what you really desire and what you really want, you're not given that. Because ultimately our attachment to that broken circuit is so strong. It's addicting. It's a lure. It has this magnetism to it. And I got to see that loudly in so many different ways of how it drew me out of my fuck yes. Even with the pregnancy, that was an absolute place that was showing me that my circuit was broken. I was not able to give to myself in the way that I needed. I was giving to another in order to try to receive support from him. I was not fully trusting that place of giving and receiving within myself, and I betrayed myself. It is addictive. It's very desperate, the broken circuit. And if you are feeling that place of your broken circuit right now, then this is the medicine that's coming through for you. Stand in this place of sovereignty with me right now. Feel what it's like to be sovereign, to voice these places of truth. This is my story and my truth, and I'm sharing it with you to give you a mirror into your truth and what is real in your life. You don't have to accept it, my truth, but it can show you the awareness that you need to move through and to release your attachment to the broken circuit and to move beyond betrayal. Because ultimately, we move beyond betrayal, we are addressing the biggest places of our wounds, and we're allowing it to happen. And then we get to live in the place of understanding and embracing and holding that little place within us that's scared, that feels alone, that feels isolated, that feels not worthy. We're holding it in compassion and love, and we know how to navigate it. And that is what we hold here today for you, is that knowing that you can navigate this and you can move into the places in your life of fully trusting to receive and honestly standing in your power to give. And it's so worth it. So what does a healthy circuit look like? The healthy circuit is where you are fully aligned with your truth. You will not waver in your fuck yes. You know how you desire to have and to share and to be intimate with another person. You know exactly when you feel connected to yourself, when you feel connected to the other one, when you know that you are giving and receiving that like It's like the tsunami wave that comes into you and says, yes, this is how to give and receive. And that ultimately ends up fueling others. It extends out into the biggest places of your relationships with yourself and ultimately with others. And this is a ripple that impacts your children. It impacts also, if you are able to understand what your healthy circuit, it will connect you to the person that betrayed you. You will be able to uncouple or to be able to experience the healing. And ultimately, it sends a massive wave of healing and transformation to them. Whether they receive it or not is up to them. But you can stand in your power today and say yes to the healthy circuit. The healthy circuit doesn't mean that you're going to be protected from pain. The healthy circuit means that you are fully willing to accept everything that comes your way and you're able to navigate it, and then you are also able to give from that place of your heart and your depth. The healthy circuit shows you how to stand in your personal sovereignty and to give to yourself and to give to others and to also receive from yourself and to receive from others. And that is the place of personal sovereignty and power. So I really want to emphasize the 3 keys here. The first key is that it's actually not the action of betrayal. That's not what hurts. And the second point, the second key is that the actual only betrayal is the betrayal of self. And the third point is that to heal betrayal, you have to release the attachment to the broken circuit. I want to be really honest here with you. There's no like cherry at the end, cherry on the top, beautiful rainbows at the end, whatever, all of this. No. When you move through betrayal and you move beyond it, you are going to be able to handle and allow the places of pain that you didn't think you were able to handle before. You will be able to address the wound that you've been running from. The wound that you have been trying to avoid by sharing intimacy with another that doesn't feel right. By being in a relationship that, like I was for 26 years, I was avoiding the absolute depth of my childhood wound, which was the place where I believed that I didn't deserve an open and honest relationship, where I felt that I wasn't worthy of love, especially of my own love. And also where I felt that I would be alone. The elemental lifestyle has been here to understand these deepest places of betrayal because we've surrendered to it. So each of us who are supporting this place of this masterclass have each experienced betrayal, and we've surrendered to it, and we are addressing our deepest wounds, and we invite you to be in this place of honesty and compassion. Because when we can hold these beautiful places of the messy, of the places where we didn't believe we loved ourselves, where we didn't feel we were worthy of an honest and open relationship that was transparent and loving, we can hold these deepest aches of not feeling like we're enough. I really, really, really know and feel the textures of betrayal. I could close my eyes and understand exactly the contours and the way that it feels and the way that it makes us wake up. And when I support this place of understanding, it offers the medicine that is here and ready for us all. You are here to support yourself, and only you can heal yourself. And the way that we heal ourselves is by taking action. So now is the opportunity with a personal invitation to a group call. This is an intimate and delicate place of being able to be in community. You cannot move through betrayal alone. That is not the place of transformation when we're dealing with the sneaky, crazy, desperate, addicting, broken circuit. And in order for us to move into the healthy circuit, we need to be able to really release our attachment to the broken circuit. And you can do that today, right now. So I'm going to invite you to take the time to look below for the registration link for the time and the space to connect with us on a group call. We're going to be holding the place of allowing you to understand how important it is to voice the places of betrayal in your relationship with yourself and with another. Just by voicing it and being on this call is going to bring up stuff for you. But it's about standing in your personal sovereignty. If you want and believe in that place in your life that is real, that you know is real, the place of your fuck yes, the place of everything that feels so much in alignment, then take this step with us. So much can happen. And then what I want to be really honest here. If this feels in alignment and you're like, yes, I believe that I can receive the support that I need to be able to move beyond betrayal with the elemental lifestyle, to be able to move into that place, you will know on this group call. So if you're in that place of curiosity and trying to understand this place of support, then you will find out, and we will know. You will know, and I will know, and we will be in that place of understanding whether or not it's a good fit for continued support. We believe that there is no arrival. Going on a fancy vacation somewhere isn't going to create the happiness and the place of love and feeling like you are enough. I traveled the world for 2 years. I sold my house. I dedicated the time and commitment for the last 4 years of providing support, of trying to understand these deepest aches within me. And ultimately, I had to realize that there was no arrival. When you realize that, then you can live in the present moment. You can accept where you didn't stand in your power. You can own the places of your deepest ache and your deepest wound, and you can finally surrender into fully releasing that attachment to the broken circuit. We avoid, and you're probably feeling, no, I don't want to book this call because, oh my gosh, like she's going to show that place of where this broken circuit is and what I'm avoiding. And if you're finding the resistance, that's normal. I had resistance in creating this video. I had nausea this past week. I was experiencing restlessness. I had a lot of emotions. I also really went into that place of fully releasing my attachment. And I'm sharing this place with you, my attachment to Brian, where I felt like I could heal him. I didn't realize that was what I was doing. That is my codependency. I was attached to Brian because I was trying to heal him. And now I've released that attachment because I know it's not serving me. And yes, it hurts because I am totally surrendering to the universe and saying that I do not know what our relationship is going to be. But it's very clear I am not going to be in places of intimacy with Brian. It is very clear that the only real role that I have with him right now is in parenting our children. So this is the honesty and transparency that has come through by giving this masterclass to you. And the one thing that is really loud, and I really want to share this place, the controlled giving and receiving. This is the pain point for so many, for myself, for others, where we control our giving because we want an expected result of receiving something. Or we block entirely the receiving because we're scared to receive something that we don't want. And so we control both. And this is the place, and this is why the container in Elemental works. It's going to show you where you have controlled giving and receiving. And it's going to move you into those places of the healthy circuit, which means you're going to have to release these places of the broken circuit. And it's a beautiful thing. So if you're willing to say, fuck yes, I am ready to move beyond betrayal, I want to be able to be in my sovereignty, then join us. We welcome you to this place. And many are saying yes to themselves in different ways. And some are absolutely leaning into support from us. We have different places of support that really offer incredible transformation in a very short amount of time. And then we also have places where it can be a more long-term support. One of our most popular places is our 6-week onboarding process. And what happens during those 6 weeks, you will move beyond betrayal. You will have our support team for 24 hours a day. You will have access to incredible resources. You are going to be able to move into the place of knowing what it's like to receive support that you've always wanted. We are committed to your transformation, and you will be shown where you get to stand in your power. And our promise to you is to be able to show those places of where your broken circuit is not working. And then it is up to you to stand in your power and to surrender. But if you're unwilling to take these bold steps, then you will not receive the transformation that you are asking for, because you have to do the work. It's up to you to do the work. I can't heal you. We're not here to heal you. We're here to provide the container for you to heal yourself and for you to understand what your healthy circuit is in full giving and receiving. So come and get messy with us. Be in this place of open and honest communication and transparency. You've seen how open I have been. You've felt it. I can guarantee that this has impacted you and will be the medicine to help support you to understanding betrayal. Now it's time to take action. So I invite you to this place, and I really want to give a special thanks to Ben. He really supported this whole process of this masterclass. And I am so grateful for his level of clarity. He was a client. He stepped in and boldly said, yes, I desire to move through these places of my deepest aches, through 2 divorces. And now in that place of his sovereignty, he's been able to see and understand, and he's serving in such a powerful way. So I really honor the space of where he's held this container for me to move through this betrayal, because we are walking this together. And it's kind of funny because I shared with him that, man, this is the stuff I've been teaching for so long. And when it's in me, in my life, and it's happening for me, it's so much more complex. And I am like so grateful for his support. I really want to honor the space of Bridget's support in her helping me address the betrayals with Brian. And she is also part of the place of you to receive support if you desire to move forward as well. And Chirag has been in this place of giving and receiving with me for supporting this masterclass. He created the video with me and Ben to really honor this place of will I ever love again. And it has been one of the most amazing places of the healthy circuit being demonstrated, of giving and receiving. So as we end this class today, I want you to really own this, own your power, stand in your power and commit. Sign up for the group call. You are worth it. And I love what we have shared here together today. Email us, message us, say, yes, this impacted me in this way. I would love to know more about this. Stay in contact. Listen to our podcast. Take the next step, though, and book a call, a group call with us. Take the action today. And if you are in a place where you're like, I just want to get right on a personal call with you, go on to the Elemental Lifestyle website and book a call with me. We will address the places of betrayal for you, and then to see if it's a good fit, we can move forward into a space of full support for you. Thank you for being here. With all that I am and all that I cherish in me is also in you, and I hold compassion for that place of the deepest ache. Thank you for being here today and for saying yes to yourself. This is a personal message from me. So it was very challenging for me to share the betrayal of myself, where I betrayed myself with my pregnancy. I feel like I want to express the big understanding for me. So ultimately, my pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. And it is absolutely perfect how it unfolded and what happened for me, because ultimately it showed me where I was hiding. And about 2.5 years ago, I had this huge understanding that I am supposed to be a mother to the world. And
sorry about that.
that's all right. And the one place where I betrayed myself was that place of where I allowed my boundaries to be broken and where I betrayed myself. So ultimately, she is one of the biggest gifts for me in this awakening and understanding of where I betrayed myself. And I really honor the process of this spirit baby that is in my life. Her name is Celeste, and she is just as alive to me as my children who are in this physical plane. And I want to celebrate her and saying thank you for showing me how I betrayed myself. It's probably one of the biggest, most profound gifts in my life. And even the crow right now chirping is her. It's showing me everything about standing in my power, about surrendering to the universe and allowing this magic to unfold in my life. So I really honor this place of what happened for me and where I did betray myself. And to be able to share that with you today was really important in my healing process, because there's a lot of judgment around that. And I have released that judgment. She was meant to be here. And whoever the father was, it's okay. Because ultimately, she showed us all a big place of what betrayal is. So thank you, Celeste. And thank you for being willing to receive this and to know now truly what that place of betrayal of self is.